Anita leaned forward, trying to steady her voice.
I didn't shoot it 3 times.
No hesitation, no uncertainty. The detective didn't challenge her. He simply replied.
The gun was fired 3 times. The trigger was pulled 3 times. There's no disputing that.
A pause followed. Then,
I didn't hear it fire 3 times.
the room went quiet. This taps directly into reality monitoring theory, a psychological principle that explains how people who fabricate or distort events begin to confuse imagined actions with real ones under pressure. As stress increases, certainty collapses. Confidence turns into hesitation. So the real question becomes, who was Anita, and what actually happened in that bedroom? Welcome back to the channel. Your single comment means more than you think. In the early morning hours of February 2nd, 2013, deputies were dispatched to a home in Volusia County, Florida, after a 911 call reported a shooting inside the residence.
911, do you please explain to me what happened. When strangers came in here to get over here, I don't want him to die. Okay. What's his name? Robert Cline.
The neighborhood was quiet, the kind of stillness typical before dawn, when first responders arrived to find Robert Cline III suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Inside the home was his wife, Anita, visibly shaken and injured. She told responding officers that an argument had escalated into violence during the night. According to her account, the confrontation occurred in the bedroom after hours of tension, fear, and conflict. She claimed the shooting happened during a chaotic struggle and insisted she had not intended to kill him. Investigators immediately began processing the scene. Shell casings, a firearm, and a knife were recovered. The physical layout of the room, the location of the wounds, and the number of shots fired raised questions that did not fully align with her initial version of events. Weather conditions were calm and clear, eliminating any external factors that could have contributed to confusion or delay in response. Later that day, Anita was transported to the sheriff's office for questioning. Today, we will look into the psychological aspects of this case.
Okay. I know this is probably very traumatizing for you, so I'm not asking you questions to have you necessarily relive it. It just kind of gives me a better picture of the events that occurred this morning and or last night. Now, you and Robert are still currently married.
Yeah, we're just separated.
Okay, how long have you guys been married?
3 years.
Okay. How long did you guys live at the address on Hanging Moss?
3 years, but he's lived there much longer. That was his house before.
Okay, and you've been living at the new address on Corbin Court for the last 3 months?
Since February 1st, yep.
Okay. What was the purpose behind you guys separating?
Back in November, things were getting kind of bad between us, like really hostile, and like he was really getting aggressive. He wasn't doing very well at all financially, and we hadn't made a mortgage payment in a year. And it wasn't so much that we couldn't make the mortgage payment as much as he wanted us to apply for that mod program.
Okay. And
so we were trying to get in on that and do the mod, and he wasn't doing very well financially. So I think like in the last year, things, because he's a financial planner and sells insurance, and the economy sucks, and so he was just really having a hard time with work, and he just kept taking it out on my kids and me, and
taking out how so?
If he didn't like something that my son said, he would say, get out of my house. And he always referred to it as my house. And every time we'd get into an argument or I didn't agree with him, he'd always say, get out of my house. And so I was just like, I was just like, and then in November, he just punches holes in walls and throws things all the time. And, my ex was giving me a lot of pressure. He doesn't want my kids around that because, they were telling him stories of what Robert was doing and his temper and stuff. And he was smoking a lot of weed back then. And I think he quit.
Detectives begin by validating Anita's emotional state, repeatedly acknowledging how difficult and traumatic the situation must have been for her. This approach is rooted in reciprocity theory, Cialdini, 2001, which suggests that when people feel understood or supported, they feel compelled to reciprocate with openness. By treating Anita as a victim rather than a suspect, investigators reduce her psychological guard. Believing she is being heard rather than judged, Anita offers increasingly detailed explanations, many of which later expose inconsistencies.
Are you trying to pull away at all?
Yeah, I'm just telling him no. I'm just telling, I'm just telling him no.
He's not really getting aggressive at all.
He is getting aggressive at this point.
Okay.
He is getting aggressive at this point.
Okay.
All of a sudden, he's got this knife, and I didn't know where it came from, and I didn't know where was it in his pants? Did he have it laying on the bed? I didn't really, was it on the nightstand? I wasn't sure where this knife came from. And all of a sudden, he's really above the top, angry. And, but the knife is there's a Kleenex, and he's got the knife like this, with the Kleenex around it. And, then he does kind of like this number, here, just not cutting me, but just barely, this number right here. And then I just told him,
while he's on top of you?
Yeah. And then, so then I told him, I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm like, if you hurt me, you're not going to get away with this. Everybody's going to know it was you. Everybody will know it was you. I don't know what you're doing. Because I felt at that moment, is he threatening to kill me? What is he doing with the knife? I don't understand what he's doing.
Did you see a knife? Okay, hold on. Let's go back a little bit. Where are you? First of all, where are you on the bed?
I'm on my side, laying.
Okay, I'm
laying flat down, and he's right here. Yeah, and he's on top of me.
And he puts what you believe to be a knife
on
your neck, although you don't necessarily see it per se.
I saw something silver. I don't know what. I didn't know what.
Okay, you're not positive it was a knife, though.
No, but I felt him do that on my neck.
At this point, you only have one pant leg down.
Yeah, and at that point, I didn't have a pant leg down he had been trying. But then at that point, then he puts his hand up like this, and then he pulls my pant leg down because now I know he has something.
Okay, so he puts a knife to your throat. That's when he says the things he says to you. He pulls one pant leg down.
Yeah, and then he proceeds to have sex and with me and stuff.
Where's the knife at this point?
I guess he's still holding it up here.
It's not at your neck anymore?
No.
Okay, so he puts the knife to your throat, he pulls your pant leg down, he starts having sex with you, but at some point
he just does this, and then he pulls it up.
And then you don't see or feel anything after that.
No, not right, not then. But he'll come back. He comes back again the next time.
Okay, but then he starts having violent sex with you.
And I'm telling it hurts. Okay. It really hurts.
Okay.
And at that point, he turns around because, when we have sex, we use coconut oil, as a lubricant. So he turns around and there's coconut oil on the edge of the bed.
Detectives repeatedly revisit the same moments, the knife, the bed, the position of the gun, but from slightly different angles and sequences. This tactic draws from cognitive load theory, which holds that fabricated or distorted memories require more mental effort to maintain. As Anita is asked to reconstruct events multiple times, her account begins to shift. These discrepancies are not immediately challenged. Instead, they are allowed to accumulate, revealing cracks in her narrative through cognitive overload.
And then I brought the gun close inside, and I told him, I've got a gun. I need you to get out. And I didn't say I need you to get out. I said get out. I said I've got a gun. Get out. He knows I have a gun anyway. He knows I've had a gun. I've always had a gun. But so at that point, I was I had no intentions of shooting him. I wasn't going to shoot him. I had no intentions. We were so close. He was right there. We were so close to the point that I almost think that he might have been leaning on the gun. I don't know, but so I was holding the gun. I was holding the gun like this, and I just had no intentions of actually shooting him, and I just did, and I don't. And he sort of came down on it, and I did, and then he looked down and saw that he'd been shot wherever he.
Okay, did you pull the trigger?
Yeah, I think I did because.
Okay, so you put the gun to.
But see, it was cocked, so it was the trigger was very tight. The trigger was very tight. I should have never cocked that gun under the pillow.
Okay. Tight meaning it would be hard to pull the trigger?
No, it was it was very close to the pin. It was very easy to pull. it just took a second and it went off because I'd already cocked it, so it wasn't like I had to pull really hard on it. It just went. It just almost that instant that he that he pushed back on it, it went off. And I would have never, ever, ever shot him in the heart, ever. I would have never shot him. Like, I would have never shot up that high. I would have shot down low, or I would have shot at the wall, but I would...
Well, when you had the gun pointed at him, was it pointed at his heart?
No, it was just pointed at him. I mean, I just had it pointed at him.
At him in his stomach? Abdominal region?
Yeah, like, I was laying down and I just had it pointed at him, like this. Like, just pointed at him, like,
Up against his skin, though?
Yeah, but because he was really close. And
okay.
Yeah, he was really close, and he came down. It felt like he came down on it.
Meaning he moved it. Okay, meaning his body came down. Did his body position change at all? Or was it just came down?
I don't know.
Investigators frequently align themselves with Anita's version of events by saying they believe she was scared or did not intend harm. This exploits the false consensus effect, where individuals assume others share their beliefs once agreement is implied. By appearing to stand on her side, detectives encourage Anita to elaborate freely. The perceived alliance lowers her defenses, causing her to expand her account, and in doing so, unintentionally contradict earlier statements.
I just know it came. I actually felt him hit the end of the barrel of the gun.
Okay, is it fair to say the gun might have been near his heart area, and when he came down, that's where the point of impact was?
I didn't have it pointed up at his heart.
Okay. So you don't know, somehow or another, he got shot in the heart?
I don't know he got shot in the heart, but I know I killed him, and I don't think I could shoot him in the stomach and kill him. I didn't see. I tried to roll him over, but I couldn't see where I shot him.
Okay, so the gun accidentally goes off, and he asks, okay, how do you know he got shot?
Because he said it. He actually set up and he said something like, you bitch, you killed me. And he said, you killed me. He said, you killed me. And at that point... He
sits up while still sitting while laying on you.
Yeah, he had been down and he just sat up and then he said, you killed me. And then he rolled over across the bed. And then that's when I thought, oh my God, I just started screaming. Because I was like, do I need a lawyer?
That's totally up to you.
Well, I feel like this is getting very interrogating.
Well, here's the situation like I told you earlier.
I understand, but, I don't want to, confuse something and it be used against me or whatever, and I don't have a lawyer.
Well, no, what we want you to do is to tell us the truth. And like I said, listening to your story, I mean, this is like the third time I've heard it. And
I remember a lot more than when I talk to you. I keep adding to it.
And that's normal. I understand it. But there are some things that don't quite jive. And those are the ones we got to get cleared up. Okay, I'm not saying you're lying. All I'm saying is if there's something that
well, I may not remember exactly the position or not the position or whatever that's going on.
Okay, well, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I mean, there's a lot of things I know you're telling the truth because you're sure of it, you're consistent with it, and it makes sense. There's certain things that aren't consistent with what you say and what we see, and they're not consistent with the way you said it.
Like what?
The main issue I have is the knife. Okay, and how you got your wounds. All right?
Rather than confronting Anita outright, detectives slowly introduce conflicting details about the knife, the wounds, and the gun's position. This activates cognitive dissonance theory, Festinger, 1957. As Anita attempts to reconcile her emotional narrative with emerging forensic inconsistencies, psychological discomfort increases. To reduce that discomfort, she revises her story in real time, revealing uncertainty and weakening her credibility.
Now, I understand, I believe he was abusive towards you. I believe, you were a victim of a domestic violence. And I believe that you had the gun because you were worried that something was going to happen. That I believe. What I think perhaps is, and you didn't mean to, but you shot him. And maybe you panicked and you thought that you were going to get in trouble if because, you weren't able to explain why you did it. And perhaps you self-inflicted the wound with the knife.
I didn't. I mean, his hand was on the knife too.
Well, I understand that, but first of all, the way you say the knife, initially you said, you described it to me, it was a folding knife, and I think you said he brought it with him, and that you believe it was your son's, and now you're...
Well, but I'm saying that that's the knife that was on the floor.
Okay.
He's trying to tell me, is that the exact knife? Did you see it at that time, at that moment in time? No, I didn't see it, but I saw it later laying on the floor.
I understand, but when you bring in the knife, everything you're sure of, and you consider, when you bring in the fact about the knife, it's real blurry. Where the knife comes from, where it goes, how do you sustain?
I don't know. I don't really know how that all happened. I don't really know. Honestly, I don't know how that all happened.
And you said you shot him once now, and initially told me you believe you may have shot him the second time.
Yeah, I don't know.
When we looked at the gun, he was shot twice.
By explicitly acknowledging Anita as a domestic violence victim, investigators utilize attachment theory principles, positioning themselves as safe authority figures. This perceived emotional safety encourages disclosure, but also subtly shifts power dynamics. Anita becomes dependent on investigator affirmation, making her more likely to comply with probing questions even when they threaten her legal position.
Okay.
And there was a spent round in the middle, so you must have pulled the trigger 3 times. Once when he got shot in the chest, one didn't fire, and then a third one that hit him in the arm.
No, I didn't shoot it 3 times.
I'm just telling you, he had 2.
No, I told you I may have shot it twice because it was cocked, and I shot it, and I might have shot it twice. I don't remember if I shot it twice.
Okay, there's certain things about this. Our job is to find out what happened. And the only reason for me questioning you or asking these questions is so I can paint a bigger picture of exactly what occurred, because it's important. It's important in the investigation, everything that occurred. There's certain things that can be disputed. And there's certain things, because sometimes there are gray areas here and there, I can see that. But there's some things that cannot be disputed. And the one thing that cannot be disputed, for instance, is the gun. The gun never lies. And upon analysis of the gun, or the casings, the gun was fired 3 times. The trigger was pulled 3 times. There's no disputing that. That is what happened.
I didn't hear it fire 3 times.
Well, whether you heard it fire 3 times or not, the trigger was pulled 3 times. Is it fair to say that maybe in the process you pulled the trigger 3 times?
Maybe. I didn't intend to fire it 3 times because I didn't even intend to fire it twice.
Okay.
I intended to fire it once.
But can you say 100% that you did in fact fire it twice though? Or pull the trigger twice?
I just heard a ring. I heard a ringing, and like I said, I think I might have fired it twice, once or twice. I know for a fact I did not fire it 3 times.
When detectives introduce the gun analysis, emphasizing that the gun never lies, they employ the anchoring effect. Once anchored to forensic certainty, Anita's subjective experience loses authority. Emotional explanations are psychologically overshadowed by physical facts, forcing her to either adjust her narrative or appear dishonest.
I mean, I know what you're saying is that it was fired 3 times, but
Right.
I know I didn't hear it fired 3 times, and I don't know.
Okay.
Another inconsistency we have with your story, based on what we found, you said the coconut oil was on the bed. When we went to your house, we found it in the bathroom. How did it get there?
I thought it was on the bed.
No, it's in the bathroom. That's why I need you to. I don't care if you tell me that.
Well, maybe he went to the bathroom and grabbed it instead of rolling over on the bed. I know, like I don't know.
Well, you would have known if you got up. Listen, Anita. All I want is the truth. Okay, I'm not trying to get you in trouble.
I just shot my husband, and I don't know. You guys are trying to trip me up. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
I told you I believe you are a victim of domestic violence.
I don't have any reason to lie to you. There's nothing I can do for myself. No. I'm not lying to you.
I believe certain things what you're saying, but I need you to tell me the complete truth.
I did think that the coconut. I did think that it was. I'm sure it was because we already used it before.
Well, I believe it, but we found it in the bathroom. Could it have been that after you shot him, you moved it to the bathroom?
No, No,
Okay,
I didn't move it.
That's the thing. We're trying to find out how did it got there. If
But
it
the
was
thing
on
is,
bed.
it maybe, I don't know, because I turned around to move the gun. I mean, I saw him. I thought he rolled over and grabbed the coconut oil. And I was in the process of trying to move the gun from my goal right there was moving the gun from the nightstand to the pillow. And I did that successfully.
Well, it's okay. It's important to know if he was on top of you, the coconut oil, or if he got
He
up.
wasn't holding me down.
I know that, but what was he on top of you and his weight was shifted to grab the coconut oil, or did he get physically off you now and leave the bed?
Well, if the coconut oil's in the bathroom, he obviously got off of me.
But you would know. That's what I'm trying to say.
I don't remember. I mean, that's what I thought happened. I thought that's what happened. I thought he, reached, he got.
Toward the end of the interview, detectives subtly reframe the incident as a tragic mistake rather than a criminal act. This tactic relies on moral disengagement theory, Bandura, allowing Anita to view admission as morally survivable. By suggesting the shooting may have been accidental or panic-driven, investigators give her psychological permission to explain more, and in doing so, she provides statements that further implicate her.
Across me, and the coconut oil must have been at the end of the bed, and he grabbed it because I know he was getting the coconut oil because he was wanting to have more sex, and so that's when I moved the gun. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he did get up. Maybe I don't know. Maybe he did get up.
Okay, well, let me then retract and say, how long was his back turned, or was he supposedly off of you to get the coconut oil before he got back on you and you guys started having sex again?
Long enough for me to get the gun from that drawer to the behind the
Okay,
pillow.
how long would you say that would be?
I have no idea.
3 seconds? 5 seconds?
I don't know. Because if I say, then you're going to use it against me.
Nothing's being used against you at this point.
Yes, it is.
No, we're just trying to get a bigger picture. That's all we're trying to do. If you grabbed the gun and stuck it back on the pillow and that was it and you guys had started having sex, that's important to know.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he did go to the bathroom. Maybe it was longer than I thought.
Did you ever get up at any point to go use the bathroom? Throughout any of this process?
Probably when I went to the shower.
Okay. Aside from when you came back from the shower.
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think I did.
Well, just to let you know, we have the crime scene investigators, and they've been processing the house all day. They're going to put everything together. It's going to show one way or the other what happened. The only two people that know what happened is you and your husband, and obviously he's not going to be able to tell us. The other way we can find out is by using the evidence. I don't want the evidence to show that you're.
Well, then I'm not talking anymore because I don't know. I mean, I'm telling you what I think happened that night. I'm telling you like step by step what I think happened. Maybe he did get up, but I mean, it was very traumatic for me. It was a very traumatic situation for me, and I don't know. Maybe I'm filling in the holes because I don't remember what happened. I don't know. Maybe that's wrong for me to do that.
Well, yeah, I don't want you to make anything up because
maybe he did go to the bathroom to get the coconut oil instead of just reach across the bed. I don't remember which one it was. I remember waiting until he turned his back because I knew at that moment that I was going to move that gun.
Once Anita commits to a particular sequence of events, detectives encourage her to repeat it in increasing detail. This is rooted in commitment and consistency theory, Cialdini. As she publicly reinforces her version, she becomes psychologically bound to it, even when contradictions emerge. The more she explains, the harder it becomes to retreat without appearing deceptive, trapping her within an unstable narrative.
And the same thing with the knife situation. That's still not making sense. He
had the knife with the Kleenex at one time. And I don't know where he got it or when it came into play.
Did you touch the knife at all?
Yes, I did.
At what point?
When he had it, when he had up here, I grabbed the knife, and that's when I said I think that's when I got stabbed, is when his hand went over the top of mine and I had the knife.
What part of the knife were you touching? The blade? Normally, when you're struggling with a knife and he's got his hand on the grip, the only thing you really have to hold on is like the blade. And so, most of the time you would have some kind of laceration on your hand.
No, I had the knife. I had the knife. And then
Have you ever seen the knife before?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, where have you seen it?
It's a knife that I bought at a store like back in September or November, October, something like that.
Okay.
That my son said he wanted it for airsoft, and then when Robert and I went and looked at him, and I bought that one for him. But then we both decided that was way too sharp. He's only 13 years old, and that wasn't a good knife. And we already took it out of the package. We didn't take it back, and I don't know. I have a knife that has a black handle in my house, so
But the knife.
I'm just assuming that Robert brought it.
Rather than overtly accusing Anita, detectives imply future legal consequences through phrases like "this has to make sense" and "we need to clear this up." This technique aligns with implicit threat theory, allowing fear to surface without triggering immediate resistance. Anita responds by over-explaining, which paradoxically deepens suspicion.
I don't know.
Well, I'm going to ask you again, straight up, and it's a yes or no answer. Did you inflict those wounds to yourself?
I was holding the knife when it hit and when it was inflicted into me, yes. But his hand was on it too.
Okay.
His hand was on my hand at the same time because we were fighting over the knife.
All right. So, but you remember that happening. That's how you got your laceration on the side.
I don't know. I don't remember it going in. I mean, I don't remember it going in, but we did wrestle. We did fight over the knife at one point.
So this happened while this wasn't after he got shot.
No, he was dying.
I'm asking, did it happen before you shot him or after?
Before.
Just tell me straight up.
Before.
I just want to know the truth.
How do you know that you inflicted the wound if you didn't feel it?
Well, because I had a hold of the knife at that time.
I know, but you would say at the Corporal General that you knew that you had a hold of the knife when you got stabbed. How did you know you had a hold of the knife when you got stabbed if you did not feel the knife?
Well, I didn't feel it. I didn't know I was bleeding. I didn't feel the pain of the knife.
A lot of time, there's, with as advanced as technology is, with science and computer and recreating a crime scene and looking at, we have experts that look at the wound and they're able to tell from angles.
Right, I understand that, but I don't know at what point. I don't know at what point in this that I got stabbed. I don't know.
As questioning intensifies, the detective subtly proposes alternative explanations, that Anita moved objects, misremembered locations, or inflicted wounds herself. This activates memory distrust syndrome, Gudgensen 2003, in which individuals begin to doubt their own recollections under authoritative pressure. Anita's growing reliance on phrases like "maybe" and "I don't know" signals internal destabilization of her memory confidence.
So what you're saying is I need a lawyer because you.
Well, that's your decision.
I've just been through the worst day of my life, and
we're just trying to get clarification. Is all we're trying to get. If there was a struggle and there was a knife present earlier in the evening or the morning, let's say, he put the knife, or what you thought was a knife, to your throat, you felt in fear of your safety, you grabbed the gun, and you shot him. And you might have freaked out. And you're worried about how we're going to take it. So in turn, you stab yourself. We need to know that. That's important.
I didn't stab myself by myself.
Okay. It's important to know that. It's just you and I now. Between you and I, it's important for me as investigator to know what happened, because if there's inconsistencies, it doesn't look bad on anyone else but you. So like I said, if you freaked out and you stabbed yourself with the knife, I need to know that. It's important. It's not trying to accuse you of anything. It's not trying to put the blame on you for anything. It's just to get the truth. So something as little and as minuscule as that is important to know. Is it fair to say that that's what happened? Is it fair to say that, yes, you shot him 3 times, or you pulled the trigger 3 times?
No, I won't admit that.
Okay, is it fair to say that you pulled the trigger twice and you've heard 2 shots?
Yes, I did.
Okay, that's fair to say. Is it fair to say that you did freak out because you shot him, you're worried about how we're going to look at it, and you in turn stabbed yourself? Is that fair to say?
No, I did stab myself. I had a hold of the knife, but...
Okay. Okay, did you grab his hand and put your hand over his hand to stab yourself?
No.
Is that fair to say?
No, I didn't do that.
Okay. Is it fair to say that you didn't get stabbed while you guys were wrestling for the knife? Is it fair to at least say that?
It's fair to say that.
Okay.
Questions framed as is it fair to say, or could it be that rely on interrogative suggestibility theory, Gudgeonson? Under stress, suspects become more likely to accept implied premises, especially when cooperation appears to promise relief. Anita gradually adopts the detective's language, unconsciously reshaping her account to align with the investigator's narrative framework.
How did you get stabbed? I need to know that. I need to know the truth. Did you grab the thing and stab yourself?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I had my own hand.
Okay. At what point did you stab yourself?
I think it's when I got up and I was standing up.
Anita, it's not a thing. You know when you stab yourself. Anybody would know when they inflict pain on themselves.
But I wasn't just by myself.
Okay, was there someone with you?
Yeah, Robert was there.
Okay, but Robert didn't inflict that on you.
No, I had the knife and we were wrestling for the knife and I stabbed it, but he was there too.
Okay, time out. This did not happen on the bed. I can say that.
It happened standing next to the bed.
Okay. This is after he's already been shot.
No.
Yes, it did. Anita, it did. Evidence doesn't lie. I was there. I saw everything. I know that didn't happen. I know you did not get stabbed on the bed. I know you did not get stabbed while you're wrestling for the knife. Is it fair to say that? Is it fair to say that?
Yeah, it's fair to say that.
Okay. So at what point did you get stabbed? Why did you stab yourself?
After I saw he was on the floor.
Okay. After you'd already shot him? Okay. How many times? Where did you get the knife from?
I didn't get the knife. He
Okay.
brought the knife in.
Okay. How do you know?
I don't know that he brought the knife. The knife was not in my house.
Okay. Where did you find the knife at to stab yourself?
He had the knife. This is not me.
I know, but those are not from a knife. Those are from scratches or something. Those are not knife wounds. Is that fair to say too?
No, that's not fair to say. This is the knife. This was the knife. This was the knife. He had that hold of the knife.
The detective gradually leads Anita into agreeing with small, non-threatening statements that she was scared, that the gun fired, that events happened quickly, before advancing toward more damaging conclusions. This reflects commitment and consistency theory, Cialdini, 2009, which holds that once individuals commit to an initial position, they experience psychological pressure to remain consistent. Each minor agreement narrows Anita's ability to later deny intent, ultimately locking her into a narrative she did not originally articulate.
Okay. Okay.
He had a hold of the knife.
Okay.
He may not have done that, and I'll give you that.
Where did you get the knife from? I know maybe you didn't bring it, but where did you get the knife from?
It was he had it and he was threatening me like this with this one and
Right.
this
Right.
and then after it was all over, I found the knife and that's when I inflicted
Well,
my.
that's why it's important to know. Where did you
And
find the
then I
knife?
dropped it down over by him.
Where did you find the knife at?
I think it was on the nightstand. I don't know where it was. It was.
Anita,
On the
we're doing good. Where did you find the knife at? Did you pick it up off the bed? Did you pick it up off the
Yeah,
floor?
I picked it. I
Where'd
picked it up
you-
where it was laying. I don't.
Where was it laying?
I don't remember where it was laying. I just know that I freaked out and I picked it up and I
And you
stabbed
stabbed
myself.
yourself. Okay. Standing next to him.
No,
Okay, where?
on the other side by the nightstand is here. The closet is here. I was standing right there.
Anita, it didn't happen there. It did not happen there. Do not lie
Well,
to
then
me.
tell me where because I don't
I'm
remember.
asking- you
I
do
don't-
know.
No,
Anita?
I was standing up. I know that.
Okay, I know you were standing up, but you didn't stab yourself by the closet. You stabbed yourself near him. Is it fair to say that? There's no need to lie now.
I'm not lying. I don't remember where I stabbed myself. I know that I freaked out and I did it. I'm admitting to you that I did it. I swear to you that I thought I would take a lie detector today and tell you that I swear that I was not standing next to him, but I was standing over on this side of the room.
Okay.
I did take the knife and throw it over next to him when I was done. I will
No,
say that.
You said you dropped the knife.
Next to him.
Okay. To do what? Why would you, if you were standing by the closet, would you stab yourself by the closet, walk over to him, and then drop the knife by him?
Because I was freaking out.
Why not drop the knife by the closet?
Because he was over there.
But why drop the knife by him opposed to where you stabbed yourself?
I don't know. I wasn't thinking. I didn't plan this out. I wasn't thinking. I just panicked.
Okay.
I was like, oh my God, I've shot him because I was scared of him. And I have, other than a few face wounds and and this right here, I have nothing to show for the fact that I shot a man.
The prolonged repetition of key issues, the knife, the gun, timing, movement, produces cognitive fatigue. This reflects learned helplessness theory, Seligman, where sustained stress and lack of perceived control cause individuals to abandon resistance. By the end, Anita no longer actively defends her version. She passively responds to the detective's reconstruction of events.
Other than the fact that I'm scared, I have nothing to show. I'll agree with you because I don't remember. I thought I was over by the nightstand, but I'm not saying I was or I wasn't. I don't know at that point. I was freaking out. I know that I was like, oh my God,
You had enough. You had enough of the shit.
Right.
You had enough of the abuse.
And I overreacted.
You had enough of his power. You shot him twice with the intention of getting him off you. You probably, after you realized it, you regretted shooting him twice. Right. You regretted shooting him in the heart. You probably wanted to shoot him in the stomach just to get him off you. It didn't work, so you shot him again in the heart. Who the hell knows? You go around to the side and you stab yourself because you were concerned.
I'm sorry to interrupt. The nurse from the health department said she had a couple more questions she wanted to ask you.
Okay. Hello?
Thanks.
Oh, here, you can talk to me.
Thank you. Hello?
Okay. Do we have a fair assessment of what occurred? If there's anything I'm saying that's off base or that you can agree with, tell me, correct me. But from what I'm gathering is you had enough of it. You grabbed the gun, you already put the knife to your throat once before. You stayed there with the intentions of him having sex with you again and then leaving, but as soon as you didn't, and he started to get abusive again and violent, you shot him because you wanted to get him off you. And he was basically laughing in your face.
Yeah, but I didn't shoot him with the intention to kill him.
I don't doubt that.
The detective repeatedly affirms that Anita was a victim of abuse and acknowledges her fear. This is an application of reciprocity theory, where perceived understanding encourages openness. However, this empathy also lowers her defenses, increasing compliance and making her more susceptible to later confrontational reframing.
But you did intentionally shoot him to get him off you. We can agree upon that.
Not the first time.
The second time.
Yeah.
I can agree. I can say that I agree with that too. Okay, so you shot him accidentally.
The first time I didn't know I shot him in the heart.
Okay, but you shot him. You didn't have the reaction that you wanted. You squeezed it again. Nothing happened. You're just thinking shit. So you shoot him again.
No, I don't remember that part.
Okay, but you did the second time. We can agree then. However it went down, that you shot him with the second time with the intentions of getting him off you.
Right.
And he did not have a knife or anything. We can agree upon that, right?
He didn't have a knife then.
Okay.
He did have a knife.
When you shot him, though?
No, he didn't have a knife when I shot him.
Okay. Then he rolls off the bed at some point onto the floor, right? You freak out. You find the knife laying by the nightstand or somewhere in that vicinity. Yeah. You run around to him. You're thinking, shit, the guy's about to die. I don't know what to do. And you stab yourself. And you drop the knife right there, and then that's when you call 911 and run all over the place. Is that pretty much a fair assessment of what happened?
Yeah, except no, that's true. Yeah, that's true. That has to be true.
So that's pretty much how it went down.
By presenting the shooting as a panic-driven mistake rather than malice, the detective leverages moral disengagement theory, Bandura. This reframing allows Anita to discuss incriminating actions without perceiving herself as immoral, lowering internal barriers to self-incrimination. From a legal standpoint, the detective successfully shifted the interrogation from emotional narrative to evidentiary control. By anchoring the discussion to forensic facts, the number of shots fired, the knife placement, and scene inconsistencies, he dismantled Anita's self-defense claim without overt accusation. Through strategic questioning, he elicited partial admissions, exposed contradictions, and established consciousness of guilt, particularly regarding the self-inflicted wound. Most critically, He guided her into acknowledging intent to fire, even if not to kill. These admissions, combined with physical evidence, provided prosecutors with a coherent theory of intentional use of deadly force, significantly strengthening the case for conviction. In the real Anita Smithy case, the Florida woman who shot and killed her estranged husband, Robert Cline III, the legal outcome was a 40-year prison sentence. After a jury convicted her of second-degree murder for fatally shooting Cline, and a judge considered both the prosecution's evidence and victim impact statements, Smithy was sentenced to 4 decades behind bars, a term that far exceeded the minimum the defense requested and reflected the seriousness with which the court viewed the unlawful killing. This lengthy sentence underscored that, despite claims of abuse or fear, the jury and judge determined the evidence did not justify self-defense, and the conviction was upheld in court, leading to a significant term intended to serve both punishment and deterrence under Florida law.